Hi and welcome. What did you learn about yourself this year? How is your relationship with yourself? Do you have any relational patterns you'd like to work on? What was the most enjoyable moment of this year? How is your self-talk, negative or positive? Which relationship had the most positive influence on your life? What goals do you have for next year? What steps can you take to start working towards them? Well, you'll have to think about the answers. I'm Atika Farooqui. I hope you have all the answers to all those questions while you start your new year. Happy New Year, by the way. When it comes to cinema, we have all the solutions, more than what you can imagine. So today is now showing, I guess, the first episode of this year, the year 2024. Mubarak ho to you and to us. And with this, we begin the show with the highlights. Make time for this week's recommendation. The Piano, Jane Campion's classic masterpiece. Mesmerizing cinematography and intriguing characters will leave you thirsting for more. A tete-a-tete with this week's most applauded Hindi film, Kho Gaye Hum Kahan's director Arjun Varen Singh and actress Ananya Pandey. And as A.R. Rahman turns 57, a conversation with the maestro about 3 decades of making diverse music and ruling hearts through his enchanting tunes. Let's begin with this week's special film recommendation. I'm telling you, this will blow your mind. Released in 1993, The Piano, directed by Jane Campion, stands as a timeless cinematic masterpiece that has a hauntingly beautiful score, mesmerizing cinematography and emotionally charged performances. The Piano is a unique and unforgettable cinematic experience that continues to captivate audiences more than 2 decades after its release. Set in 1851, The Piano tells the story of Ada McGrath, played by Holly Hunter, a mute and talented pianist who, along with her young daughter Flora, Anna Paquin, is sent to the rugged and untamed wilderness of New Zealand for an arranged marriage to a wealthy landowner, Alasdair Stewart, played by Sam Neill. The film explores the challenges Ada faces in adapting to her new surroundings, navigating her tumultuous relationships and finding her voice through her cherished piano. The Piano explores complex themes such as love, desire, and the struggle for personal expression. Ada's mute condition becomes a metaphor for the societal constraints placed on women during the 19th century. Through her relationship with her piano, Ada finds a way to communicate and assert her identity in a world that often seeks to silence her. With this ravishing period drama, Jane Campion became the first female director to win the top prize, the Palme d'Or at Cannes. The Piano is a triumph of storytelling, combining visual and auditory elements to create a deeply moving and immersive experience. Jane Campion's directorial vision, coupled with outstanding performances and an unforgettable score, makes this film a must-watch for anyone appreciative of cinematic excellence. The Piano remains a timeless classic, continuing to resonate with audiences around the world, showcasing the power of film as a medium of emotional exploration and artistic expression. At the heart of The Piano are the powerful and nuanced performances of the cast. Holly Hunter delivers a spectacular performance as Ada, communicating a range of emotions through her expressive eyes and body language. Anna Paquin, in her breakthrough role, gives a remarkable portrayal of Flora, bringing a delightful innocence to the film. Sam Neill, as a conflicted Alasdair Stewart, adds depth to the narrative with his nuanced performance. Campion's directorial prowess is evident throughout the film, with each frame carefully composed to convey the harsh beauty of the New Zealand landscape. The cinematography by Stuart Dryburgh is nothing short of breathtaking, capturing the vastness of the wilderness and the emotional intensity of the characters. The film's evocative use of the piano, both as a narrative device and as a symbol of Ada's voice, adds an extra layer of depth to the storytelling. Michael Nyman's haunting and evocative score for the piano is a crucial element that enhances the film's emotional impact. The piano, as Ada's primary means of communication, becomes an integral part of the soundtrack, creating a connection between the music and the narrative. Nyman's work earned him critical acclaim, including an Academy Award for Best Original Score. Watch it this weekend. And now, talking about the appreciation that film Kho Gaye Hum Kahan has been getting. Prepare for an insightful dialogue as we delve into the captivating journeys of director Arjun Varayan Singh and Ananya Pandey, guiding us through the intricacies of their diverse projects. These two people epitomize the modern era of Indian cinema and stories, navigating through the dynamic landscape and carving their niche in the contemporary film scene. In this conversation, they peel back the curtain, offering a glimpse into the behind-the-scenes hustle that defines their careers and this film. And of course, the behind the scene of Netflix's youth drama, Kho Gaye Hum Kahan. Hi Ananya, hi Arjun, welcome. I must tell you, after watching Kho Gaye Hum Kahan, I felt like going back to my 20s. Not that I'm too far from it, but the world was so beautiful, so profound, so enchanting, and so real at the same time. And like I told you, Arjun, hats off, seriously.
Thank
All
you.
my friends have been raving about it.
I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you.
Ananya, this is quite a detour from what we had seen of you in Karan Johar's film, which was your first film. In the last two films, you have surprised us, and how? What do you feel right now?
I don't know. I feel happy. I feel validated in a small way, which is kind of sad because the film is about not seeking external validation. But I feel happy and I feel grateful. I think more than anything that so many young people have related to the character, because I think when I was young and I would watch films like Ye Jawani Hai Diwani or Wake Up Sid or Jani Tu Ya Jane Na, I always related to these characters and I always wished and wanted more. And I know how it feels sometimes when you're watching a film and you feel like a character is almost your friend. You can feel very comforted and it gives you more than you can possibly even imagine, because sometimes in this world when everyone feels so lonely, it's nice knowing that you're not the only person that feels a certain way. And I think the best response has been those messages where a lot of people have spoken about how they feel seen and how they feel like they're not the only person dealing with a certain issue. So I think those are the best kind of responses.
So, this is the story of three people in their 20s, Ahana, Neil, and Imad. And all of them are trying to find existence, the true meaning of their existence in the digital age, and navigating through relationships which are very complex in today's times. And the movie has been written by Arjun Yu, Rima, and Zoya.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's the origin of the story? How did this come about? From where did this click?
Well, to be honest, I think it came through conversation. It came through Zoya and I, with Zoya and I talking. We were editing Gully Boy at the time, and we would constantly talk about like my generation, her generation, the similarities, the differences, and how social media has impacted my generation so much. And I think that was really the tube light, was like, okay, like what the like friendship at its core is the same between all across generations, across time. Friendship is the same, but I guess what's changed now is how the impact of social media and our phones and our devices and what that does to our relationships and ourselves.
It's all about the phone. I mean, every twist in the narrative originated from something that happened because of a phone. And
Yeah.
a phone is it's in itself. I mean, the digital world in itself is a character. Instagram, Facebook, or any other social media is the fourth character. Apart from these three, why did that happen?
Well, I guess that's basically how our lives operate right now. So much of what we do and what we think is because of our phones. And whether it's meeting someone new, whether that's like as Ananya said, whether it's seeking validation or not, so much of it comes from the way we are perceived on our devices.
What a beautiful point to make, that when you're in conversation with somebody, you have to put your phone aside. But right now, just to sound busy, everybody wants to constantly check their phones. Has your phone usage considerably decreased after having done this film?
I mean, I think initially when I was shooting the film and before the release of the film, because there was so much conversation, somewhere I was also not using my phone that much. I was like in that, zone of, detoxing and all of that stuff. But since the film has come out, I think because of the love and the response to the film, I think all of us are very curious to see what people are saying. And we are checking social media so much. So I can see myself go back into that loop. But I've had a love-hate relationship with social media for a very long time. I go through phases and pockets. But I think what I've realized is everyone has to do what works best for them when it comes to that, because it's a game we're all going to have to be a part of. We're all going to play. It's a sign of our times. It's what's happening around us. It's kind of like a way into society in a way. You feel really out of touch if you're not on it. But I think you have to do what works best for you. And I think the most important thing to realize is it's here for your entertainment, and it can just all go away with a click of a button. So not to take it too seriously is what I've learned.
It's like in the movie, we're not saying that social media or your phones are bad. We're just saying I think what it really comes down to is that it's still a very nascent technology. And I think we're still figuring out as a society how best to use it, right? Like there's a lot of hate on the internet, but there's also love. And I think I think we just need to figure it out. In the same way, Imad finds Simran on a dating app, right? He finds her on Tinder. It's just that the problems are within him. He's using the device in the wrong way. And I think the same applies to Ahana, the same applies to Neil, and the same applies to all of us, really.
Absolutely. As Rumi says, let there be space and togetherness. So while we do have a relationship with our phones, there has to be a little amount of space, that respectful space. So I get that, absolutely. We can't do away with it, but there has to be a certain amount of decorum. What I really liked, Arjun, in the story was, you didn't make it a love triangle. There are two men and a woman.
Yeah.
Boys and a girl. And we have grown up watching Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar and heard this dialogue, ladka aur ladki kabhi dost nahi ho sakte, a million times. And you steered clear of that. Was that intentional?
Oh, it was a choice, but it's also like, it's honestly a reality. I have friends who are girls who are from the opposite gender, and that's totally fine, and some of them are my best friends. And I think that's what the film is trying to depict. It's a reality, and we're just trying to stay true and honest to the reality that is our lives.
So लड़का और लड़की आज के ज़माने में बहुत हद तक सिर्फ दोस्त हैं. Relationships are platonic, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that's such a great thing. I mean, Bollywood has influenced our thinking so heavily. So that's
influenced it so much that when I was reading the script also, I was like, yeah, I was also waiting for that to happen. I was like, oh, I'm sure that's going to happen. And a lot of people watching the film also felt that way. But I think it was very refreshing that it wasn't like that, because as Arjun said, I have my female friends that I go to for certain things. If I just want to gossip, and if I want drama, and if I want an overreaction to something, my girls are there for that. And then if I want a reality check, then my guy friends are there for that. So we have that in life. And I think the sweetest things have been like, we've been receiving pictures of like best friend like trios, like of one girl and two guys. Like after watching this film, they're like, oh, we also have that, and I want a Neil and Imad in my life, or I have an Ahana in my life. So I think those are like the nice ones.
In fact, that's one of the nicest things, is when people come up to you and they're like, oh, this is my Ahana, and this is my friends group, and when they find those characters relatable, that is the most satisfying thing as a creator, is just that people are connecting to it and people are saying, that's me and that's my life.
Beautiful. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा. Rahman indeed gave hope to Hindi films by entrusting them with music that was truly international. Two deeply Indian tunes like Radha Kaise Na Jale. Time for a short break on the show. When we come back, we have Mozart of Madras, A.R. Rahman, giving us an insight into his creative mind. Don't go away. Welcome back after the break. You're watching Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqui. Mustafa, Mustafa, don't worry, Mustafa. Hum hai tumhare Mustafa. Oh my God, this song by A.R. Rahman ruled the 90s, particularly while we were growing up in the 90s. I was in cantonment and I was crazy about this song. Mani Ratnam was the first person to spot the talent in A.R. Rahman and got him to compose the music for his Tamil film, Roja, in 1992. He got a pretty big sum for that project, and he became the recipient of the National Film Award, along with huge success, popularity and admiration. Two-time Oscar winner A.R. Rahman turns 57 on Saturday, that is 6th of January. He is one composer who's only been experimenting with the sound, from Roja to Dil Se to Bombay to Rang De Basanti, Rockstar and so many more. The list is endless. And up next, we have the Mozart of Madras, A.R. Rahman, talking to my colleague Vishal Chatkara about creating some of his most memorable tunes.
They'll say soundtrack is like that textbook that each time when you read it, you find something new. I discovered something very new recently when I was listening to the album of Dil Se. The song Satrangi Ray talks about the 7 stages of love, which actually, if you see, it encapsulates the film story and the journey of Amar, the character played by Shah Rukh Khan. How that song came into being, and I read somewhere that it has some influence of Arabic culture.
No, actually, what happened was, I think we finished Bombay, and then Maniji Iruvar also, I think. And so Maniji once he came and he said, like, what is the next story? I said, I won't tell you the story. I said, why, sir? I'm just going to give you a hint. Write a song about 7 stages of love. And then he said, he showed like, attraction, seduction, death, and birth and everything.
Infatuation.
Infatuation, yeah. So he gave that stuff and I like freaked out. I said, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, this, you're not limited by who's acting in it, who's writing it, and it's like giving a whole space. So you've given me freedom to interpret. And I thought it's going to take ages to write that song. But it was written like in 1 hour. So I found this like rhythm pattern of a guitar, and then when that happened, I just started. I mean, there were like in most 10 stages in it, which I chopped it and put it as a 7th stage because it ends as a death thing. Like when he. So what I thought was going to take loads of time finished like very quickly, and he liked the whole thing. I think Dil Se was. I usually jam and keep certain things, and I always think I'm going to do another album after Vande Mataram. And it was done for that, and then I said, no, this is a Mani Ratnam song. I played him and he loved it as usual.
Yeah.
And then it was Meethi Re, and then I said, why don't we put the title? And then Gulzar Sahab said, yeah, that's a good idea. Dil Se Re, then the song came. And then Chaya Chaya was again for Vande Mataram. I wanted an extra song, and I asked Sukhwinder, can we do a song on a Sufi song kind of a thing? And so we were jamming with Baba Bulle Shah's jamming, and then finally it was 1 year in the box, and nobody even, because we didn't use it finally, because it felt like it was out of the. Then Maniji said, I'm doing this. I said, I have a song for you. And he heard it and said, I'm going to film it on a train. Straight away, he heard it, I'm going to film it on a train. And that happened naturally. So like that, it fell on, and then when I saw the movie, it was glorious. And, yeah.
Rahman sir, you always have said that visual inspires you a lot. I want to ask you, have you recently, or in your 30-year-long journey, where you watched a movie, which you're just watching it to enjoy, and you find a scene where that inspired you to compose a song? Has it happened?
Yeah, I think Delhi 6.
Yeah.
Delhi 6, I watched the movie, I was scoring it, and there was one song left. He said, when they're driving the car, I want a song. It's a bit song. So that bit song was actually Rainatu.
Oh.
So I said, there's no song. The movie talks about I'll accept you the way you are. And so immediately went to Rakesh and Prasun, they were there. I said, can we do a song like this? And Prasun was like, all songs are over, man, or something like that. And Rakesh is always like, yeah, let's try it. And so this song came in. And of course, they'd finished the edit by then. So they put it on the. When it released, people started shouting, why did you put that beautiful song in that thing? Because it came late. Because I got inspired by the movie and the scenes, and then got the song. So that's one song I would say, and many other songs actually.
Talking about Rainatu, if you go to Spotify and type Bollywood jazz, it'll show a playlist with A.R. Rahman's image on it.
Really?
Yeah, and it has songs like Aise Na Dekho from Ranjana,
Yeah.
Tu Bole from Jaane Tu Ye Jaane Na, Rainatu from Delhi 6, and Mera Naam Kiji. Is that the genre you enjoy the most, jazz?
Well, jazz is every musician, right? it's a kind of trip to play jazz, because when you go deeper in music, whether it's Hindustani or Carnatic or classical music, you know, you want to be challenged and you want to find, which unfortunately it can't run your kitchen. I love the form jazz, but it can't, because you become so involved, indulgent in it, that you will start refusing to accept any other forms of stuff. You feel like it's lame. And I've felt that, and I took a conscious decision to switch. I said, this is not going to, you know, I want to build a studio, and I want to make, you know, the best sound equipment. I want to do an album, and so jazz is not going to do that. I can't play in a hotel, in a bar to get that money. Movies are the only way. I'll just have to switch a little bit, adjust to what they cater, and then I'll off. So it's like a passion which is on the sideline. Like,
How often, or have you ever had a false start to a song, especially while selecting the tone for a song?
many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think unlike an independent album or something, we have a whole team which vibes to a tune. Like when the director comes in, and sometimes they said, "Oh, can you do something else?" And yeah, sometimes I'll just hum with a keyboard or loop, or sometimes I just play on the piano. And like Gajini song,
Wow.
that one came like a piano. I just played it on the piano. So those chords came, everything. Then Satish Chakravarti was assisting. I told him, like, can you take this melody and get a voice on it, put a click onto that.
Yeah.
He did that, and he said it's ready. And then I went back and heard it. I said, oh my God, what is this?
Sir, after achieving so much success, name and fame, does success make a singer more or less free as an artist?
Actually, yes. If you look at a singer is actually the one who's going to go do concerts, and people recognize the song with the singers.
Yeah.
Music composer comes second only, and especially you see now singers who are doing amazing tours all over the world. It's a renaissance. It's a golden age for music, and there's so much love they get, and yeah.
Rehman sir, many thanks for your time and wishing you a lot of success in all your ventures. Thank you so much and best of luck.
Thank you.
Cinema is a mirror by which we often see ourselves. Cinema is not only about making people dream, it's about changing things and making people think. Cinema is an art form that is designed to go across borders. That's all we have in this episode of Now Showing, all about cinema. I see you and you see us in the next episode of Now Showing. Till then, you take good care of yourself and watch only good stuff, good content, because after all, we are what we watch. Till then, goodbye.